Okay, we're going to change the schedule just a little bit as Coach Garner is out looking for his players. And we're going to go ahead and bring on DAR this morning. And Coach Brian Largen. And Coach, first year at DAR, congratulations. Thanks for being here. Would you introduce the players or let them introduce themselves and give us some opening comments about your Patriots this year?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having us today. We'll start over here on my right side and just work across the table. Go ahead.
I'm Isaiah Phillips, senior. I'm Isaiah Phillips, senior, defensive end.
Brady Largen, senior, running back.
Cade Maples, senior, offensive tackle.
Colin Cantrell, linebacker, senior.
We're just really looking forward to the start of the season. Of course, we've been working out all summer long, and and just really excited to get started. This is my fourth year at DAR. I've been an assistant there the last 3 years, and so it's a new role for me as a head coach. But I've been there, so I feel comfortable. Got a great group of kids to work with, and some really good coaches, and it's just a great community, and we're really looking forward to getting the season started.
Coach, two-part question here. First off, about your experience coming back, offense and defensive starters, and will we see any change in the offense and defense now that you're head coach?
I'll answer that first part. We have 9 seniors, and I think the biggest part that we lost that's probably going to affect us the most is we had 5 senior offensive linemen from last year. And it's really hard to replace that kind of experience. It doesn't matter, which side of the football you're dealing with. But going from what we were running last year with the midline and the veer to what we're going to this year, we'll be running a spread. And, with multiple formations and wide receivers. And so it's going to be a little bit of a change. We're going to be young on the offensive line. Our skill guys coming back on offense is where our most experienced players will be. And it's going to be the same way on the defensive side of the football. We'll be young in the trenches, but our back seven or our back end, so to speak, is going to be where most of our experience is at. And so we're just working hard every day. The young guys, the new guys in the trenches are really working hard every day, and making progress and getting better. Making the transition, going from what we were running last year offensively, defensively, it's not going to be that much of a difference. Our defensive coordinator has been working at DAR High School for the last 10 years. And so the players are familiar with Coach Rogers and what his expectations are. And on the offensive side of the football, it's going to be a big change. But luckily, I was there before we changed and, went to the midline and veer. I was fortunate enough to work on Coach Poole's staff before he left, and so we ran multiple formations and threw the ball quite a bit, and so now that's what we're going back to, and that's what the players are really comfortable with that. I think the atmosphere, the tempo, and the environment during practice, so far in our workouts, it's shown. They're really looking forward to getting started.
Well, Coach Largen, you were talking about where y'all run the veer, now you're going back to the spread. And I know since you've done both, and I know you've been successful running either one, but do you think maybe you go more to the spread? Because actually sometimes it makes more kids come out because they can be a part of the entire offense. Like I always say, when you run the spread, a lot of times you get baseball players to come out and play who otherwise wouldn't see the field that much. So do you think that will improve your numbers?
That's what we're hoping for. I think ultimately, as with any program, obviously winning will help. But to have the more up tempo, and I hate to use the term backyard football, but it does. It is a recruiting tool, so to speak, within the school. And we have picked up a few more players this year. I think because of that, and it's exciting, and I know the guys are really looking forward to getting out there and getting started.
Coach, two questions. One, the first one is easy. How many total players do you have?
Right now, we've got 37.
How many of those are returning?
We have 6 returning on offense, and we have 5 returning on defense.
Could you say that word again, the veer? What did you say before that?
Midline.
Midline?
Yes.
Veer. All right.
I'll ask a question to the players. With Coach getting the job, being a first-year head coach, not only at DAR, but first time in his career, what did that mean for you guys? Because a lot of schools, a lot of young athletes, when they get a brand new head coach come in that wasn't in the program, it can be sort of a transition. How did you guys feel when Coach got the job and you realized that, I'm familiar with this guy, he's been here a little while. What did that make you feel, and how have you guys responded to that since Coach took over the program?
I feel like we were all really comfortable with Coach Largen, knowing him for that period of time, the 4 years he's been here. It's probably better that he was here that time before. I feel like we are all comfortable.
There's a lot of trust with Coach Largen. He's also helped with baseball quite a bit, so I'm pretty much with him year-round, and it's something I think everybody's comfortable and just ready to get started.
And Coach, for you, hearing your players talking about they trust you, they've been around you this long, 4 years, what does that mean to you as you look to build the program? And of course, every coach wants to put their stamp on their program no matter where they're at, but what does that mean to you to hear these guys talk about that word trust and having that in you?
Well, it means a lot. I've been coaching for quite a while, and I think it's one of those things to where I don't have to hear it; I can feel it. And being in the locker room, and I like, in my mind, or my mindset is I like to try to be a player's coach. Now, obviously, you have to have discipline, and they have to respect you, and you have to have boundaries. But I think if the players know that you truly have their best interest at heart, they can feel that, and I think if they know that, I think it changes the whole dynamic of the program itself. And now that we're in a situation to where we can start trying to build on that, obviously it's just going to be a year-to-year thing, and hopefully, it helps in taking the program in a positive direction.
This is for the players. Guys, this is, 3 years in a row there's been a different head coach at DAR. That has to be tough on you. And my question is, in the locker room when the coaches aren't around, do you see a different attitude with your teammates, with Coach Largen and the coaching staff that's there now?
Yeah, well, whenever we start coming to workouts this summer, in the previous years it was kind of like dragging and stuff, but this year you can kind of tell everybody wants to be there, and we're all excited to get better. So it's definitely a more positive attitude.
Yeah, going back on what he said, everybody's definitely, it seems like everybody used to be really lazy and kind of was slack on workouts, but now everybody's definitely into it a lot more. We want to be there. We want to be there for him, and we're going to try to be great this year.
All right, I'll ask you another question then, guys. All 4 of you seniors. Coach has brought you to Media Day today to represent your football team, to represent your school. And I'd like each 4 of you to comment on how you feel to be selected by Coach to be here today?
It feels pretty good just to be recognized, and I know these three guys have been working all summer, and they deserve it. I think we're going to have a pretty good year, and it's just going to get going.
I was pretty proud to be selected. All three of us have played football since we was 2 years old together, and this year we had all kind of talked about it before that we was going to try to lead. So getting selected for this, it was kind of like we're in the leadership role now to lead this year. So it was pretty exciting.
Going back on what he said, we've all played together since we were about 7, and it's just an honor for him to select us to come out here. And I know all three of us, ever since the basketball season ended, we've been in that weight room every day, working, trying to get better, and we're going to lead this season.
It felt great to be selected by Coach Largen. Always, something to look forward to, being a leader and everything. But going back on what they said, playing with each other all these years has really helped. I feel like we're a brotherhood now, and that helps everything.
Coach, 4A reaching 8 this year, looking down your schedule, you've got a couple of rivals in Sardis and Douglas to open up the season, and New Hope's really a crosstown rival almost. Speak on your schedule and the region and where you think you stack up in 4A Region 8 this year.
It's a really competitive region. There's different types of systems that, so we have to be versatile. We have teams in our region that are extremely physical and are going to, line up and just try to be tougher than you are, so to speak. But we're going to try to take the attributes that we have and not worry about what we don't have or what characteristics, maybe we're lacking to stack up against a certain opponent. And we're going to focus on DAR and maybe not so much the opponents that we're playing against and try to utilize our weapons and focus on what we're good at. Now, as far as the schedule goes, it is exciting to have some of those teams back on the schedule. Our first 4, of course, our Jamboree game, because we didn't have one in the spring, is with Scottsboro. And so, it's right out of the gate, we're going to have 3 pretty solid programs. And then, of course, just as you mentioned, New Hope is 4th or the 3rd regular season game of the year. So we're going to be pretty competitive, or the schedule is going to be really competitive right out of the gate. But, we have, I think the team that finished 4th in our region last year had a losing record, and it was just because our region was so tough, very competitive. And so, we're looking forward to the challenge. You can only put 11 on the field at one time, and we don't have to be necessarily better than they are. We just have to be better than they are when the ball snapped.
Anybody? Okay.
Coach, as we hit fall camp, you get ready to get the pads on. It feels weird to say, but next Monday is August 1st. What's the focus going into fall camp and us being just a little over 2 weeks from game week? What's sort of your focus over these next few weeks?
Our focus is our mindset. We feel pretty confident, with our skill guys. We've got some youth and inexperience, up front, but it's our mindset, the culture, positive energy, up tempo, and being the very best teammates we can be, trying to create an atmosphere to where we're helping one another get better, and it doesn't matter what it is. If developing a culture and an atmosphere, to a 1-0 or a 1-0 mentality, if you will. Win each play, win the national anthem. And if we show up and we put our gear on, it doesn't matter if it's practice or a game, win it. And, and just being the very best teammates we can be, and, lead by example. And that's from the youngest guy on our roster to the most experienced senior, and that's coaches included. And, you know, and that's going to be our battle cry, if you will. You know, we're the physical part of it and the playing the games on Friday night, the schemes and things of that sort, breaking down video, you know, everyone's doing that, you know, obviously. But what we want to do to try to set ourselves apart from the other teams that we're playing against is, you know, when we show up, it's going to be all 37 of us playing together as one unit, hopefully.
Coach, thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Good luck to the Patriots this year. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Go Patriots.